All right, I'm here with CU basketball. I'm going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us today.
How you doing? My name is Clifford. I'm from Colorado Springs, and I'm a sophomore on the CU men's basketball team.
Sweet. So, Nique, can you talk a little bit about your experience in the CU basketball program? You know, what you loved. Is there anything that you would have done differently if you could do it all over again?
I've had a good 2 years in the CU program. I've got to know a lot of people. The teammates I've had have been great. I've built a lot of family members. I would call them family. They're my brothers for life. And just the relationships I've built since I've been here has been amazing. The basketball piece of it, we've had a pretty successful 2 years since I've been here, and we've continued to keep growing. We were able to make the March Madness tournament my first year, so that was a one-of-a-kind experience in my life, and I wouldn't say I would change anything differently. It's just progressing as you keep going over your college career, so it's been a learning experience, and I've been adjusting as I go, but it's been a great 2 years so far, I'd say.
Absolutely. Speaking of, you mentioned that March Madness tournament. Can you talk a little bit about the NIT tournament that you guys made this year and maybe kind of compare and contrast that with the March Madness tournament from your freshman year?
Yeah, the NIT tournament is a great opportunity for teams that maybe got snubbed out of March Madness, maybe were right on the verge of making March Madness, but like just weren't maybe good enough to qualify for the tournament. And it's a great opportunity for teams to continue to grow, especially for us as a young team, because we did make March Madness, which was our goal. The NIT was a great opportunity for us to continue to keep playing, because our season could have been over a lot earlier than it was. So it gave us the opportunity to keep playing games and just see different teams from all over the country to
Right.
just keep growing and getting better, and also compete for a championship,
Right.
which is our goal. But it definitely is not the March Madness tournament. Everyone wants to be in the March Madness tournament. That's the main thing everyone's working towards all year long.
Right.
So the NIT is still it's a little heartbreaking to make that tournament instead of March Madness, but NIT is a great opportunity for teams to keep getting better and still compete for a championship.
Absolutely. You guys got to see that firsthand with a really good St. Bonaventure team.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so speaking of this March Madness tournament, there's a lot of talk going into this tournament this year about the gap between teams being much smaller, calling the tournament up for grabs. Many would point at the transfer portal's heavy activity as a source that could definitely be seen with this year's national champion, Remy Martin. Came up huge for Kansas down the stretch. What are your thoughts on this smaller gap between teams or the portal as a cause?
I mean, the transfer portal, I think it is a good thing for college basketball players, just because it gives them the opportunity to choose another school if they were to choose the wrong school and maybe the coach had lied to them, or they just didn't get what they wanted when they first went there. So it's a good opportunity and gives more power to college basketball players, I'd say. But it definitely can it can change the trajectory of different teams and make them better. So it's hectic with this new transfer portal rule. And we've seen a lot of people in the transfer portal. So anything definitely is up for grabs in the Pac-12. We don't know what teams are going to look like next year. We don't even know what our team will look like. So it's really just wait and see and just keep getting better each day. But I think anyone could win the Pac-12 next year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. People have been quick to criticize the difference in officiating between college basketball and the NBA. Most notably, just a couple weeks ago, we saw the Final Four game between Duke and UNC. Had a lot of people talking about Duke's Trevor Keels and one call coming back because of college rules. Do you have any thoughts on the differences, and does it ever affect the way that you guys prepare?
I don't think we try not to think about that too much because none of us have played at the next level, being the NBA. Like all we know is the college rules or high school rules. So I don't think we focus on it too much. But that call did change the game because he was picking up the ball when he was going up, and the dude fouled him. So that could have easily been an and one. So it really leaves the game within the ref's hands to make that call. And it didn't go in Duke's favor that time. So that was unfortunate for them. But I would say it doesn't really change the way we train or prepare because we know what to expect being college basketball players.
Right.
So we just if any of us were to reach the next level, of course, then we would have to change our game a little bit and prepare differently. But right now, I know we train and we know what to expect.
Yeah, able to put it out of your heads.
Yeah.
For sure. So, speaking of you guys as college basketball players, I think you guys understand as well as anybody just how good you have to be to even make an NBA roster. With such an absurd talent level across the board, are there any players that really stick out to you, any that you try to mimic in your own game?
Yeah, the NBA talent level is it's another level for sure. And that's everyone's goal is to reach that level. And I've watched a lot of players growing up, and like a lot of NBA players right now. The main ones that I try to watch and just get little things from their game because I feel like I have similar like qualities, or I could see myself being similar to them in different aspects of the game. I would say I really like Ja Morant's game. I try to take things from his game. His athleticism, his explosiveness, and IQ, passing, everything. So that, and then I also like Jaylen Brown a lot.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of similar qualities in his game that I try to put into my game.
Right.
Just the way he's able to score on all three levels and be a two-way guy.
Yeah.
I really like that about him. And honestly, I just watch a whole lot of players, but I would say those two are like some of the main guys I watch right now. And then Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time, so
right.
I try and watch a lot of Kobe film.
Yeah.
And take things from his game and his knowledge of the game. So
yeah, Kobe, Ja, and Jaylen Brown seems like there's pretty high emphasis on basketball IQ. Those are about three of the best that you can study when it comes to that.
No doubt.
Yeah. So if you guys kind of step back, and sometimes college basketball can seem surreal. With thousands of fans watching you, thousands of fans cheering you on, and even thousands more watching you on a screen, right? These fans can be massive for a team's success, but we've also seen examples of fans seemingly forgetting that y'all are human beings too, whether that be words on social media or real actions. Before I let you go, are there any thoughts that you care to share about the importance of fans and or like the frustrations you wish fans better understood from you as a player?
Yeah, I know being a fan, like it could be frustrating because I mean I've watched NBA games and I'm a fan of the Lakers personally. It could be frustrating, so I can see the perspective of the fans, but they do have to take into account that we are humans. We have feelings. And basketball players also cannot be sensitive at the same time. We got to be able to take criticism and play through that, and just know that we have people behind us supporting us at the same time. So it's ups and downs, and there's gonna be haters, and there's gonna be people who love you. Yeah. So you have to realize that being a basketball player, and like I said, you can't be sensitive. You have to be able to take criticism. But at the same time, you got to just keep that in the back of your mind that you got to keep pushing and know that people are behind you, supporting you, and really just be with your teammates. I say that's the biggest thing is knowing you have your brothers beside you, and that's really all that matters is playing for your teammates and your family and coaches,
right,
and all them. So Fans do have to realize that we are humans, though, at the end of the day, and we have feelings as well. But it's the reality of basketball and sports in general. So.
Right. Well, this is Nique Clifford, guard of future national champion Colorado Buffaloes. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me.
No, thank you very much for having me, man. I appreciate it.